Okay, fine. Okay, call to order. Roll call. Tyler Bradford.
Here.
Taylor Davis. Here. Here. Bill Higgins.
Here.
Brent Miller.
Here.
Tom Patterson.
Here.
Great. Ken Bush, Council Liaison.
Present.
Joe Ward, Building Inspector.
Here.
And we don't have any additional staff liaison today. All right, this is the continued case, Board of Adjustment 2301, Prince Banshee, owner Terry Blankenship, address 200 Tombstone Canyon. You want me to go through this stuff? I guess I will. Yes, correct. Yes. The appellate, Ms. Carrie Blankenship, is in violation of the city of Dixon zoning code, Article 8.1A, parking and loading requirements due to their accessible parking being blocked. The appellate has informed the city that they are in process of acquiring a space from the property owner next door. That would be at 202 Tombstone Canyon. And the board will need to make a decision regarding the appeal. And the first thing we're going to move to is the appellate to speak on their appeal. So, get your name, please.
Thank you for being here. On the 26th of May, I met with the new owners of the builders, Chris and Bridget, and we worked out a situation where they're in need of getting their driveway resurfaced. And so I asked them about the parking space. They said they'd be in agreement with that if I paid for half of the resurfacing of their parking. The whole lot. I paid for that. And they said that Banshee customers could use their lot as well, but I could already have that parking space. So I agreed to do that with them.
Do you have a date as to when that's going to happen?
They were supposed to reopen on the 5th for the inside of the restaurant. I just left there today and Chris was out there putting up a railing. He said that they should be open Monday. He suspects in another 2 weeks. I can't say.
I understand.
Yeah, he was guessing that it would be 2 weeks, but I don't know if it's right.
Sam.
I think the 90, I think what we put in the agenda as a recommendation is fair enough that there should be a space that opens up that some of the other spaces.
Do that one.
So the recommendation that was made in the agenda that said the handicap space be open and used until such time as Ms. Blankenship has a replacement or acceptable alternative. Yeah, that in the time before that opens up next door, that there should be one that's provided by the Blankenship. Okay. I think that's
You two ever meet or chat? Did you two ever have a meeting after from our direction from the last meeting? Direction, my understanding.
Melissa, if you'll speak into the microphone, he may not be able to hear you for the air conditioner. I'm sorry.
Well, thank you, Joe. I am going to go to discussion by the board right now. We completely finished. Okay, thank you. All right. My understanding, and I'm going to let everybody have a say here, from our last meeting was that we had directed to give the applicant more time, and that we directed you, Carrie, to meet with either Joe or Logan. Well, since then, Logan, those guys are not in the mix, so it's Joe. So did that happen in an effort to get a space there earlier than what was in it? You understand what I'm saying? Because basically what we said was, okay, you have a little more time to work this out. And in the meantime, please meet with the city staff that's responsible for this.
I did that. They came in with a band sheet and they looked at the space to agree upon where it should go.
Okay, so you have, okay, okay.
I can't remember the other gentleman that came with you that day.
I hear you.
Where did they agree? That we could get the space next door.
Is it a space that's well up,
Let me just say that.
but everybody needs to be following.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Madam Chair, my question is, the city is not responsible for private property, so we can't blow anybody that's okay. I just want to make that comment. And what they told you,
Say that again.
that the space that she's speaking to, we can't address because it's not city property. It's a private situation, so we can't say, well, we're okay with that because it's not our, she was supposed to meet with us to see what we as the city could offer, but we didn't have it, right?
That's almost my understanding, and please, anybody jump in here, that we were looking at alternatives for you along the front. And that we determined that the access was not there along where the patio seating was. And that staff went and met with her, correct? Javier went and met with her, and I don't believe, and we can re-vote on this, that we all had an issue with her. We recommended that she negotiate with Contessa to find a spot. Yes, please, right.
Well, I'm just looking at that space, I go over there for an exercise class, and so it seems like there's enough space for a parallel parking spot directly in front of Banshee, partially going into where the tables are and where the gas pump used to be. That the only thing stopping that is that there's a walkway there. A crosswalk. So my question to you is, why can't that crosswalk be moved? And that parking space be allotted to Speedy Banshee for a handicap spot?
Let's suggest.
Which is
I don't have any control over the crosswalk.
well, no, I know that, you're the building inspector, that is a parking, that could be a parking spot, correct? But that crosswalk was not there.
I think there's room for a parking spot on the Banshee property, there on the lowest portion.
I'm talking about the street.
Okay, I need to,
Can
I'm
I,
gonna call on Tyler
Sure.
first, if you don't mind.
absolutely,
So with the parking spot being moved to the street, that now becomes a public parking spot. And the issue in this case is that the handicap spot already was on the property and it needs to be maintained on the property. And that was the issue with creating a public handicap spot, is that it's going away from the current situation because of the fact that there was already a handicap spot there. It has to remain on the property. It has to remain at the closest possible spot on the property to the entrance. And so that's why moving it to the street, the city could go and put a handicap spot there, but the Banshee is still going to have to maintain one of their own spots because it was a pre-existing.
And I'm gonna add one thing to that, is that is an ADA crosswalk, and if we don't have the jurisdiction to move it, from my understanding.
there's, can I just, how Fred, may I address Fred?
And then we're gonna.
Two things, that where Clausen came down with redesign, there's a set of steps put there, that's where the crosswalk ends. We have, in order to meet code, it had to be handicap accessible so that there was no curb. And then it went over to the other side. If you were to move that, then we would have a problem with curbs and the other situation. The reason that I believe what I was told in Public Works that the handicap spot in front wouldn't work was two things. Was one, when you come out of the courthouse and you hit the stop sign, you have to turn around and you have to have a line of sight, and that's why no parking is allowed in front of her establishment right now. and it just didn't work out. Length of everything that had to happen, so you had to have so much room before the crosswalk and so much room so you can have line of sight on the other side of the crosswalk. It just wasn't there. So they said, well, if you can move one to Contessa, that's fine with you, but it's nothing to do with us. So the city really can't provide one on the street at that point. The public works team to.
Okay, I'm gonna go to Tom.
Yeah, a couple of things. One, you can't park within 10 feet of either side of the crosswalk. And the 10 feet would stretch in front. In that space that we're talking about. I mean, that was what Logan mentioned.
Yeah, that's correct. We looked
That's
at
what
it.
he mentioned at the last meeting. Second,
10 foot in, I'm sorry, 10 foot in front.
no, if you have a crosswalk, you can't park within 10 feet of either side of the crosswalk. So go towards Contessa's 10 feet from the crosswalk.
I'll go the other way.
Both ways.
No, what I'm saying is move the crosswalk.
Well, but we haven't determined that we can yet. I mean, that's another option that we haven't discussed.
But I think his point is that if I was wrong, then it has to be on private property, then that's a moot question. We haven't got.
And the question, Bill, you're saying that if it takes 3 weeks until that parking place could be ready in front of Contessa's, which doesn't, that handicap place wouldn't benefit Contessa's at all. Because they've got steps and a hill. They've got their own handicap.
You're talking about right over there in their parking.
The parking, yeah, the only handicap place that makes sense to them is the one above the restaurant.
Correct.
So you can come down.
Which is there.
Yes.
Which is there.
Now, when we left the meeting, we were under the impression that Joel and Logan and Carrie were going to meet. It would have been nice if we had been notified that that had changed. This is the first I've heard of that. Then lastly, Joe, you say that you think that handicap place should be offered on property until the other one's available.
That was actually not Joe Ward's decision, that was the attorney who suggested that it's because there was already a handicap spot there, that until she gets one in place, there has to be a handicap spot there to abide with our code.
So,
Until she has an alternative, and then we
now,
need to
who
get
am I
there.
talking to? I know, I mean, we got.
I'm
is it
telling
the
you-
city against the board or what here?
No.
Mr. Patterson, it's not that, you're not listening to me.
Yes, I am.
What I said was Joe Ward didn't have anything to do with that decision.
Okay.
I went to the city attorney,
That's I did.
as Melissa did, and I said, this is the alternative. What do we need to do going forward? His recommendation was for the board to let her know that she needed to have a space open until her alternative was available. Because regardless, she has to have a handicap parking space. By our code, she has to have one. She does not have one right now.
I know, we understand, I
So
understand that.
we're not
No, well, I'm
us
just
against the
trying to get-
board. But we're not us against the board. I'm telling you, Joe Ward does not make that decision. I went to the city attorney in order so that I could give you that recommendation. And he let me know
Okay.
what was
This is-
acceptable.
This is the first we've heard about.
Because this is the first meeting we've had.
Okay, no, I understand.
Since
But
the last time.
the state, what is it gonna take to put that parking place in?
I'm gonna,
She's gonna have, isn't it gonna take some destruction of the seating? Because it's too high from the street, I mean, well, Joe, is there a place for it just to be put there with no thing but striping? What are we talking about?
I'm gonna go.
No, but that was one alternative.
I'm gonna go to Carrie first because she was the most familiar. with the area, and I'd like to hear it.
So in the meantime, I don't think the neighbors next door would have a problem if we just put the sign up, because I'd just be putting the sign back where I had it before. I don't see why in the interim, it's just gonna be a matter of painting the stripes after the hard top is done. Why I can't just put a sign over there and start using it now? If they didn't say I couldn't, I can make sure that I can, but it's not, I mean, they're gonna redo it anyway, and then they'll redo all the striping again. I could easily use it now. they're done with the roof, so that's what was in, they were doing roofing, so in the restaurant was being closed, so they haven't been able to parking lot for the last few weeks, but
Mayor,
they're able to use it.
Well, I
Mayor.
had another question.
Hey.
Was,
would you be able to call Joe Estes? He was supposed to be on
Let me
this
say
board.
everybody one at a time.
He's on. I have city attorney on the phone if you
Good.
need.
Thank you.
Any questions.
Yeah, because I have Zoom set up for him, but I didn't know.
I'm gonna start down here with comments. Okay, go ahead.
want to clarify. First, is the alternative that Gary has come up with acceptable to the city? Using the parking space that encompasses parking lot?
If she has the paperwork that says she owns that spot, will contest for her, not contest it.
Or she doesn't necessarily have to own it, right? She has
some legal authority, that that's her.
Okay,
Then.
okay, and that, Harry, it sounds like that is something that you're working on. Absolutely. Okay, so that sounds to me as though that you have now satisfied with that situation, with the contingency, that you have satisfied the city's need to provide a handicap. She hasn't, however, at the present time, do not have a handicap parking space. So that needs to be addressed because you, according to the attorney, you're in violation of that, code. And so right now, what the council is discussing is what is the acceptable thing to do so that you are providing that handicap parking space. Now, you did just say that you think that you could make an arrangement with Prince Houses right now and have a handicap parking space within, say, the meeting. So perhaps what we could do as a board, if that is not an acceptable situation for the city, is say, okay, we will give you a certain amount of time to fulfill that requirement. And if not, then there will be a penalty. Does that sound reasonable?
Well, yes, I mean, go, let's see, yes.
No, thank you.
Right.
Okay, my suggestion is you get, a note from the owner saying that you can temporarily use one spot there, until the paving starts. And then after the paving, that you are either purchasing it or leasing it, that we can have something in writing that that's going forward, and that there will be some kind of date on the closure of that, 30 days or 45 days. I think if we have that, that would satisfy both, the requirement that she has a handicap spot, and that she will have a handicap spot permanently.
It would have been nice, because it's been quite some last time.
Right.
And it would have been nice if there was an agreement, piece of paper, that was present at this meeting. Not waiting like another, what we're gonna wait, another 3 months? Like, there was plenty of time to get that together and get it to the city so we can see that in front of us tonight, and we could make a, decision, be finished. But no, again, nothing, it's still talking. And then, we could decide on that in November. And really, to put the handicap parking spot back, what do you gotta do? Move a couple tables and put a sign in the window. You could do that on the way home. I mean, I don't see where this, giving all this time is doing us any good. I think we should act on this, tonight and act on the information that we have, not the information that may come tomorrow or the next day, but the information that we have in front of us. I don't think we should have to deal with this again. If you could, give something to Joe Ward that meets the city code, that he's happy with, then, we go ahead with that. But tonight, we need a parking space there tonight because it's been forever and nothing has happened. So I'm ready to move forward on this tonight and not give anybody any more time, not carry on anymore. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm gonna go to Tom.
Joe, you said that what you wanted to do is put back the original handicap place until the new one is available, and you didn't think that was too much to ask? You can't go through your word.
City attorney.
Well,
So I just,
no, but Joe's the one that said that earlier in the meeting. He said that the proposal is.
He said, what's the recommendation that was
Yeah, the
given?
recommendation is, right, the handicap be open and used until such time. So what you want is, what that means is the original parking place be put back until the new one is available?
Whether it's the original or it's moved over a little bit, or wherever we can get it there, within reason, in front of the bench, yes.
But doesn't that require ripping out part of the seating in order to lower it down to street level, so parking, or is there already?
Yeah, it's already
it's already, it's where,
And that's, is there one there?
so please. So
What do you have to
he's
do?
asking, if we put the parking space, back where it was that?
I won't be able to use the front patio.
The whole patio?
Because my servers are gonna have to walk around, there's gonna have to be room, but I have to take out 6 of the tables. For it to fit, because the servers are gonna have to walk down the sidewalk to go around to take their order. Because if they go down the ramp, there'll be a car there. It'll be right in the middle of the patio.
But the problem with that is that we are now understanding that it would receive go to the magistrate. Now, I do want to address one other issue. We haven't had this for a variety of reasons. So I have to tend to agree with you that we need to finish this tonight. So let me make sure.
I do, I have, one question about the proposed handicap spot. Just for the record, are you going to, with the deal that you're making with the owner of Contessa's, are you gonna have part ownership, or is there gonna be something in the deed about that spot, or is it gonna be a rental?
I think it'll be more.
Because I'm pretty sure, that within code, it needs to be like permanent, right? Is there something in there about that? Can it be a leased spot, or does it need to be a part of the property?
You're not certain,
I would suggest that because she was required to have one, the lease is fine, but if the lease is to go away, she'd have to put it back in her spot. I mean, that's the.
Right,
Can we hear from Joe Estes on that question?
Can ask him,
Well, he's getting
I
in
don't know,
on
who's
the phone.
gonna ask him?
Yeah.
No, I'll put him on speaker. So.
Yeah. Thank you.
Mayor, if he would like to join the Zoom, then everybody can see him. I thought he was supposed to, because he accepted my invite.
I know, he asked me if you wanted to be on Zoom, I said, I'll just call you if I need to.
Yeah.
I'm texting right now.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, go right ahead.
Carrie, if you have the agreement with Contessa's, why have you not put a handicap spot where you want to put it at Contessa's right now?
You already had to have this meeting with the, I can do that.
So again, you said that you could have that handicap spot set up like tomorrow.
I believe I could.
And so if, well, no, it's gonna be correct.
Right,
And
I
then-
mean, right now, I would be putting the sign back, that's what I had. So I can get a sign and put it where that spot is gonna be. And then when a blacktop comes, then we can, I could probably paint it now and then we can paint it again.
Okay, join.
Okay, he should have that linked on his.
He does.
Okay.
It's gonna come up on Zoom.
And I do apologize, if I was told I had to bring an agreement letter, I would have done it, I just
I
thought I
don't
was.
think you were told that. I believe we did recommend it states. Yeah.
So Carrie, when the parking lot is being blacktopped, possibly happen when it's closed, we would use that parking space without being plastic. Right, so in other words, if there's a period of time where you can't use that spot because it's in the black spot, right?
I think it's pretty quick, like they can do it the next day. It doesn't, it's not like you have to wait a week for the spot to dry or anything.
Okay,
It's probably a different thing.
okay, so as far as we understand, that Gary has,
Not yet. He'll be done.
that Gary has a handicap parking space for business. That she's made an agreement. Now, what we would need, or the city would need to have is a paperwork to show that there's an agreement as part of the lease that is a secured spot. And then it seems to me as though we're all set. Is that correct? But I mean, am I understanding the situation?
We have no paperwork here right now.
Correct. Right, but,
And we're inside.
right, so, if Harry took a handicap sign up tomorrow,
That doesn't mean,
We don't have a meeting.
just please. I subscribe,
that can happen by tomorrow. Again, you've got to have the symbol on the laptop. And then,
Okay, I'm got a few,
okay,
I'm sorry, I just want to clarify one more thing. Of course. And so what's going to hang up right now is that the, designation besides the sign for that handicap spot, is that correct?
it needs to be struck.
Okay, right, it needs to be striped and then you can have the sign. And right now you have that stripe, on your business. You don't have anything in your business. You don't have anything, so that would need to occur as well. Before I hand it down.
And then it would be there for a couple of weeks, and then I'd be moving it to the next place, and then I'm gonna have stripes on my concrete. Permanently.
So tomorrow, what would you, as soon as you could get the stripes put on the spot, I can help you. That you would release them.
Done, and I would say within this weekend, I can get this can Dan County to do it for me.
I mean, worst case would be, you put up the sign to strike the parking space,
Which one?
the new.
Okay.
It gets paved over, you strike it again. I think the cost of striking it twice would be a minimal amount to pay to get it over with. And then give a certain number of days to get the contract. The agreement between the two parties. That way we could put it on the books tonight, and if it isn't done within that time frame, she's forfeit it out.
Well, we gave a time frame of 30 days, first.
Joe is joining the
So I'm not
conference.
much of a believer in.
You guys hear me?
People don't respect it.
Yeah,
Yeah, but you
yeah.
don't know who.
They have no respect for it.
Madam Chair, we have no-
going to Tyler,
Can you
please,
get a
and we
microphone?
have Joe Estes on the line.
Can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Yes, they can hear you, but we're gonna put a microphone over to you, but Tyler's gonna, have something he wanted to say.
Well, hold on. Are we in executive session? Hold on.
No,
So
we are not yet.
Okay.
for staff, temporary striking, is that camera? Go get some marking paint and lay the stripes out with a measuring tape, is that camera? Or does it have to be permanent? Because the way I'm looking at it right now is that if it has to be permanent striking, it does not matter which spot is designated, it will not happen tomorrow. Because the permanent striking is going to, it's gonna have to be something that's scheduled. So is temporary striking, is that count? That's my question.
And we can go to Joe for that.
Well, we need to go into executive session for that. So somebody will have to make a motion and a vote. Ms. Carey, I'm sorry, but you'll have to step outside the door for that. And then, well, as soon as she calls for it, so yeah, perfect. But we'll call you right back in when they're done.
I move that we go into executive. Anybody opposed? No, let's bring her back in. Thank you. I'm sorry to keep you out there in the heat. Well, we believe that we are ready to put a motion forward, on this issue. Is anybody prepared to make this motion, or would you like me to do that?
Go ahead.
All right,
Sure.
so I move that we allow the handicap parking to be established in front of the Contessa within 48 hours. I understand, let me start again. The motion is to move that you can move the parking to the Contessa, or you can reinstate the parking where it was before. Either way, the motion is going to be that that should be done in 48 hours. I don't think we're so concerned with the striping, you talk to the attorney. So the motion is move the handicap parking either back where it was within 48 hours or into the newly established one that you've negotiated. We also, within 7 days or so, we would like to see a copy of some sort of agreement between you and him, you and the Contessa. Anybody, any additions or?
Well, either one can default to.
I didn't realize that we were gonna give them 48 hours to put parking back in front of, there's no handicap parking right now. But I didn't realize that we were going to give a 48-hour time period to put parking back there. Well, I thought that was going to have to be done immediately, and then after 48 hours, they could take it down. But I thought that parking should be established immediately by, right now.
Correct, so it sounds like we need a little more discussion on our motion.
Yeah.
Yeah, my understanding, Bill, was that she's either got to establish the original one or Contessa's in 48 hours. I mean.
That's not what I heard. What I heard was 48 hours would be new parking, but nothing was said about this, about the original handicap. And that's just a matter of moving some things around.
On a business day, I mean, 48 hours for the whole thing to be done.
And
Does
it
not seem unreasonable.
And it's either gonna be.
If you have it done immediately, it'd be tomorrow, and then the next day they'd have to be striped anyways.
No.
That's what he's
No,
saying.
no.
He's saying it should be done immediately.
I'm talking about the sign back in the window and the tables moved should be done immediately. 48 hours later, if the other thing is done, then they can move the tables back and take the handicap parking space down. That was what we discussed.
That's not what I mean.
I don't disagree with you.
I didn't say, that wasn't discussed.
I-
Okay, then maybe I was just explaining
believe
my.
That the discussion is because she has been in negotiations with the Contessa and could have availability immediately
Okay.
to that parking space.
All right.
I think that's where we're hung up. And-
Excuse my interruption.
No. Correct me if I'm wrong, you are, may I have this discussion right now? You are able to get a parking space fairly immediately with the. Huh?
She just needs the handicap parking plan.
Where did it go?
Do we have the right to use? When we do that, the city has an extra.
I've got an old one.
We're ready for a motion from Brett?
The board directs the appellant to provide a temporary handicap parking spot within the next 48 hours. The appellant has 30 days from June 8th to provide a permanent handicap spot at Contessa's, with the appropriate paperwork delivered to the city proving that she has a permanent spot. Okay, that sound right?
That's it.
It gives you a little bit of time.
I just say,
And then you got the, I'm sorry. Yeah,
Discussion on the motion.
discussion on the motion?
Yes.
Oh, wait, first there has to be a second before you have discussion.
We got either second the motion,
Your motion.
Smokey Robinson and Eric, or we got to withdraw the motion
I
and
second,
reopen.
I second your motion. I second your motion.
Okay,
Now you,
But I think what should be put into the motion is, that, at the time that the parking spot is at Contessa's, that there be something in writing that shows the agreement, and then you have the 30 days for a formal, agreement with Kentucky, and I don't remember what, a documented easement, recommended by the county.
City.
Excuse me.
Let me go a step, let me try and explain that. The recommended, the recommendation from our attorney is that an easement document is the most legal. Now, for us right now, we would take an agreement, or lease, or whatever agreement in writing we have with them, with the understanding that you may take it a step further so that it remains there in perpetuity. Am I right, Joe?
Yes, my preference would be a recorded access easement for that space. Absent that, a long-term lease agreement establishing the use of that space. So, and also that the applicant knows that fines will automatically be imposed if the 48-hour provision is not met, and after that 48-hour provision, if the 30-day provision for written notification is not met, that this would be a final decision of the board, that it wouldn't be coming back for further discussion after that.
Would you like to readjust your motion?
What is it? Yeah, what is it? Let me see.
The appropriate, proof to the city if the appellant has not done that within the 30-day period, the city shall move forward with fines. 48 hours. No, both. No, not 48 hours.
For both, if she doesn't comply. in
48 hours from the city. That's not necessary. If this is a small businesswoman, she's gonna do, obviously, there's a lot of attention to this.
You know, it's crazy here because we have a motion and we have a second, and now we're having a discussion about it. So if we're gonna change, the motion, then we're gonna have to make another motion. You know.
Okay, if I could interject, the imposition,
Okay, we should go with a motion.
Hold on, the attorney speaking.
Yes, sir.
the imposition of the fines is not necessary to be stated in the motion. It is implicit in the motion that if those two items are not complied with, that the city will move forward with the fines. That's just a notification. You know, we're just providing that as additional notification. As the motion stands, from what I heard, is that the handicap parking will be reestablished within 48 hours, either in the original spot or at the Contessa's with temporary markings, and that within 30 days, written documentation will be provided to the city that establishes the legal use of the Contessa spot for the permanent handicap spot. And as a matter of course, if whatever the vote is, if those two items are not complied with within the time frame established, then the city would move forward without further need of the board to assess fines for violation of the order.
Mr. City Manager,
One
City
comment,
Attorney,
we will go back to the motion.
what we originally, we didn't say anything about that. What would happen, I think needs to be, from our standpoint, I would amend the motion. The appeal would be denied. That would trigger the fine. See, we're ruling on an appeal. So if these things aren't met, then the appeal fails. And that, I think, needs to be part of our motion. Because it's the appeal failure that would then trigger.
I don't accept that.
You don't?
I don't agree with that.
Well, what is the purpose of our meeting? No, it's.
I have a motion on the floor.
There's-
If I do,
We're just-
you wanted it.
Hold on. I'm going to ask Fred to restate his motion, and then we are going to a vote.
The board directs the appellant to provide temporary handicap parking spots within the next 48 hours. The appellant has 30 days from June 8th to provide a permanent handicap spot at Contessa's with appropriate paperwork showing a lease of the spot delivered to the city.
I second. Call for a vote. Discussion? Okay.
The only question I have, what was the original meeting? Was it an appeal of the violation that was levied against her?
Yes, this was, she appealed,
With the city on the
He's trying, the
violation.
attorney's trying to talk.
Okay, well, I
I
was asking you.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
You have to, go ahead.
yes, she appealed the notice of violation for not having a handicap spot. It's implied that through the motion that directs her to reestablish that handicap spot, that the appeal is denied, that she is directed to reinstate that handicap spot within 48 hours and provide written documentation within 30 days of a permanent location.
Thank you.
Is there a second to the motion? The original motion. Any further discussion? With that, I'm gonna call a vote. I'm gonna call one by Brendan. Over name. Tyler Bradbury.
Yeah.
Peter Davis. Aye. Melissa Hartman. Aye. Bill Higgins.
Nay.
Okay. Fred Miller.
Aye.
Tom Patterson.
Aye.
So the vote passes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
4-1.
4, 1. Does that make it?
All right, I'm sorry, you were right, 5-1.
5-1. The motion
Passes 5-1.
Maybe I make a motion with John.
Okay, all right. You're adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any more explanation or? Very.
No, I didn't,